Hey everybody,
Yes.
and welcome to my beautiful co-host, Corinne Mooney, all the way from Arizona, and myself, Anne Anula, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden, in a snowy weather.
Ooh,
And today we're going to talk about interweaving eternity, the tapestry of soul connections. And we'll let you know a little bit later on here why we choose to call everything soul connections. There's a purpose behind that.
yes.
So step into a conversation where time loosens it at its edges and the soul remembers what the mind forgets. In these episodes, we are going to open a doorway into the subtle, shimmering threads that bind us across lifetimes, dimensions, and the quiet space in between. We will explore how connections form before we even meet, how they echo long after we part, and how every relationship becomes a living strand in the vast tapestry of our eternal becoming. So, this journey is a journey of remembrance, resonance, and recognition, a gentle invitation to feel a deeper story, to feel the deeper story your soul has been weaving all along.
Yep.
And today we have Wednesday, January 28th in the US and Europe, and Thursday, January 29th in our future Australia. I always love to call them our future because they are, right? And again, we talk about interweaving eternity, the tapestry of soul connections. Our last show was last Wednesday, January 21st, and we talked about harmonizing frequencies, a dive into healing tools from tuning forks to Reiki. We do go live on YouTube for you every week at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. And I have promised myself not to talk too much, right? So we dive straight into the topic.
Oh, but listening to you is like a gentle breeze. You're just so full of wonderful information. I really appreciate this. But there is a divine connection that we seem to sense as we are uh, developing, and we know that there's something beyond ourselves. But as we grow up, we all try to fit in. We try to be part of the group around us, and yet we know something is missing. And as we get older, even though our birth families have given us so many things, they're here primarily to teach us how to navigate through being human. But there's something that calls us, and that is our soul family and our soul connection. And what is a soul connection? And why do they show up? And when did this connection begin? And how do we even find them? How do we know that they're there? Well, they're there. And once you are becoming more authentic with yourself, you'll find that synchronicities will lead you to that connection. And that to me is such a great way to just be gently given a direction to go.
Exactly. And that's how we found each other, right? So there's no limit ever. You can find a, one soul from your soul family from across the globe. That's
Yes.
fantastic. And how things, I think the only thing we need to be staying open. I want to mention something that I have get a lot of questions about, and that is, oh, I met this. I'm going to go into the romantic relationships part, right?
Oh,
So I
yes.
met this guy. I had these feelings, and many times I can confirm also they have soul connections.
Yeah.
People tend to get caught into that and thinking that if I found a soul connection, I can relax. I don't need to do anything more. That's it, right?
Oh,
And if it
yes.
doesn't work out, they get devastated. But we don't have only one because you said the word soul family.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yes.
can you tell me or tell us a little bit about the difference between soul family and blood family?
Well, throughout time, uh, mystics and healers and teachers and everything else have tried to give a reason why we are just drawn to a particular person for no reason, and we will just do anything to be in that presence. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but when we try and confine it to a word, like everybody is looking for a soulmate. Well, soulmates may be someone that you have companionship with for a long time. They may be there to really stir you up and get you to go different directions, and to just, like you said, focus on one thing because that's the end thing. You need to move beyond that. And the words were good, they help guide us. However, there is a greater story of a soul family that has decided that they're going to come together to help move humanity in a certain way. And then we're scattered. We're scattered. But to just absolutely give up after you have found your soulmate
Yes.
is, it feels good. Um, and my
It
personal,
feels,
yeah,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
my personal experience is I met someone. And oh, I'm telling you, the connection was just beyond. We already knew each other, and it was phenomenal. However, after being in the relationship for a period of time, I realized that I had come in as an older woman because I could give guidance to this person and show them what they actually came here to do if they chose to do it. Now, that's the key.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
come here to change this person or make this person better. I came here as a guide to mirror the possibilities of what that person could do. When I realized that that person's choice was to not move forward, I didn't stay there trying to bang this information into him. I realized that that was what he chose at this time, and he was going to have to wait and find that awareness in another way. But I wasn't obligated to spend the rest of my life trying to be of assistance. I
Yeah,
watched this in a teacher of mine, and she was very, their whole beings were living with karma. And I watched as she was attempting to resolve the karma with this person, and this person just kept taking her down and down and down. And I realized that it's not a punishment. We come and we bring in what we can, but if the other person isn't ready to make that change in their life, that's okay.
yes, it is okay.
And
And
we
my
move.
yeah, my way of expressing this is that, because I have made a choice to call everything a soul connection, because we have soul family, we have, soulmates, we have uh, a lot of terminology around this. But
Yes,
in the end, it's all about what kind of energy we are sharing between
exactly.
ourselves as souls. That's all it is, right? And
Yes,
sometimes we have a vast history, other times we have a short history, but that is not a problem either, right?
yes,
And a reason why sometimes when we find a soulmate here, we think that, oh, I can relax now, I found my person, and it doesn't
Woo.
work out
Yes,
because in this reality, we don't always remember everything. But at a soul level, we are maybe the oldest, wisest, soul there is, right?
yes,
But we very few people do actually remember this. And it doesn't work out because maybe we are at different stages, we have slightly different paths. One soul may, as a person incarnated here, may actually want to dig within and grow and explore themselves, while the other don't feel the same way.
right.
And that's fine too. And sometimes also we agree that I'm going to help you with your incarnation and we are going to meet up. And despite that, when we do meet up, we can say yes or no. We always have free will and choice, right?
Yes.
But sometimes also a very old wise soul can play a role as someone who's going to trigger us in this life.
I'm glad you said that. I uh, we also have these souls that uh, are there to bring this big mirror and hold it up in front of you and say, "Well, you've spent 81 years, working on this. Now, how about you work on this?" And as I mentioned very many times, when we were getting ready to do a podcast, the universe says, "I'll give you some information here. We'll just throw this right at the end." And uh, these last few days, I've had the opportunity of standing in front of that mirror, and I'm going, okay, thank goodness I've had the four agreements. I'm not going to take this personally. I'm not going to make assumptions, and I'm going to be impeccable with my speech when I'm looking at this and not go, oh, did I'm a terrible. I said, I'm going, okay, and I acknowledge that this is the another facet in my beautiful diamond that needs to be polished off, and I'm willing to do that. And but as I was speaking to you this morning, I said maybe I could hire somebody to go through this for me because it's not always pleasant, but
No,
it will glean you the opportunity to become even more. We're already perfect. We just don't see that perfection as we're going through our experience. We're already perfect. We just have to knock off the soot and the grime and the dirt to bring that perfection to the surface. And
exactly.
thank you,
Plus,
universe.
when we are living here as incarnated human beings, I mean souls having a human experience, we are also a product, will become a product of the time we are living in, where we are living, the
Absolutely.
surroundings, culture, family. Is it middle age, 1500s, or is it 2026, right? So
Exactly.
there's always a difference, and we encounter that specific time. And where we are and family and everything, we experience that challenge to kind of take us inward to understand who am I in all of this, right?
Yes.
And certain times, they burn witches. You weren't supposed to be able to be good at herbs or trying to heal people or whatever. And that was that time. Today, when we are looking back, we can feel great because we don't have that kind of trouble today. So, in this society today, not all around the globe, but in many places, we actually can, we have the freedom to explore, and that is
Yes.
beautiful. Soul connections, they can be seen as bridges between lifetimes. We tend to come together to incarnate in one way or another, sometimes not the whole family, but usually we have interactions, and as souls we most of us had experience, like if I take an example like you and me, in this lifetime we are soul sisters, right?
Oh, yes.
In another lifetime we would could have been husband and wife or siblings or
Exactly.
you know um, best friends, special connection of friends in another lifetime, like we are this, right? So
Yes.
there are all different constellations on how we are coming here and what we do. And
Yes.
soul connections are luminous strands that link us across dimensions, timelines, and incarnations. They are the echoes of ancient agreements, the whispers of shared missions. Yes, we have missions,
Yes.
and the reminders that we are never walking alone. No, we are not. To understand soul connections is to understand that life is not linear. It's a spiral of remembrance. You can see it as a spiral of remembrance. It's
Yes.
a dance of reunion. And every soul carries a unique frequency, a signature that cannot be replaced. So that's how we recognize each other. And like you, I had that experience too, multiple times in my life, not with everyone. Sometimes, I know when I was younger, because I've always been sensitive, and I could feel when I was presented with a person, I felt bad because I didn't want to be around them. And I couldn't for my life understand why not. And other times you have the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like you see someone and you say, I know you, but obviously in this lifetime we are new to each other, but I know we're not, right?
Yes. And because we are energetic, we are energy, and uh, when we have that frequency recognition, it's as if we have spent lifetimes together, because in reality we have. And maybe a soul connection just comes in. You're in a restaurant, you happen to say hello to somebody that you don't know, and they say the sky is blue, and that's the information you needed, because you thought the sky was green.
Yes.
So it comes, it's not always overwhelming, it's not always in complete relationships, but when you start living in synchronicity, you are going to get more clues about where and what it is that guides you. 40 years ago, if I had met myself 40 years ago and tried to have this conversation with them, I would have put myself in a loony bin, because you know that was not where I was heading. But over time and meeting different souls that have come in as teachers, different conditions that have led me in different directions. All of these things have been slowly guiding me to come to this conclusion to be able to be of assistance to others. So there again, I love the word just allow.
Allowing, yes.
Allowing. And when you're living in the now and you allow an opportunity to be something that's going to give you guidance instead of, defending it or going against it or completely rejecting it, just letting it sit and simmer for a few minutes. That is how we are gently guided to what we really are here to accomplish. And maybe I'm not here to walk in and change and put peace all over the world by just going in and let there be peace, but maybe person by person that has
Exactly.
peace in their heart.
Exactly. And as you said, I love you said that, because sometimes and that can go from a 5-minute conversation with someone we don't really know, but we feel a connection, to having sorry, a relationship for a year or two, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not, the purpose is not that we are going to be for a lifetime together. And even if we come in with a plan, and I would like to call it a brief plan, so we have a few things we said we're going to accomplish and do, doesn't mean that we can't change that. We always have free will, right?
Yes.
And meeting someone, though, where you feel you have a soul connection, it's no accident. Um, the purpose is that we probably most of the time, maybe not always, but most of the time, we agreed to pop into each other's lives,
Yeah.
and then we can, if we have that feeling. Now I'm going to make a joke here, that you're mirroring me too much. I can't take it. I need a pause. I'm just kidding, but you understand what I mean, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And
And I also want to add that thing that things are written in stone and we are predestined. No, we're not.
no.
There's no such a thing. That takes away the free will we have, right?
Yes, energy is not contained in a cylinder. Energy is always moving, always evolving, always in motion. And unfortunately, people that go with the flow in society now are labeled ADD or OCD or neurotic, and and they may have those tendencies because they haven't learned how to deal with them. But in reality, it is always fluid. It's
Yeah, it
constantly
is.
changing. This desk that I have my computer sitting on is eroding. The atoms in here are slowly changing, and at one time, they're just going to disappear. So, by trying to make each thing permanent or each thing gospel, or holding to that thought pattern that is not allowing for movement, this is devastating to the flow of energy.
Yes, it is. And soul connections, we have a perception many times, or a lot of people have, as because they ask about this, they have an idea that soul connections are going to be always easy.
Ooh,
But that's not the case, no. And it's not about punishment or we are
no.
going to suffer, but some others bring intensity and transformation. Some of them feel like home, others feel like fire. Yet all of them serve a purpose. They help us grow, they help us heal, they help us evolve. So a soul companion may remind us of our worth. A soul teacher may guide us towards our gifts. A soul mirror, which most feel like that's the most challenging part. who wants
Woo!
to be mirrored? But that
Uh,
is for growth, that is the most beautiful thing. A soul mirror may reveal the parts of ourselves we have avoided. A soul catalyst may push us into our personal power. A soul guardian may protect us during vulnerable transitions.
yes.
And a soul partner may walk beside us as we step into our mission. So each and every one of them are equally sacred and brilliant, to be honest with you.
Yes, without that connection, uh, first of all, I would think it would be a very lonely place. And there have been many opportunities where um, I've been stumbling around, and at a particular moment, someone will say something or do something, um, like your friend Sue. I'm
Yeah.
minding my own business. I had just come out of the store, and I had an advertisement on my car. And this lady comes up to me. Fortunately, she had a child with her. I probably would have gone, She says, "Is that you? Is that you?" And I said, "Yes." "Oh, I've got to talk to you. I've got to talk to you. I want you to come on my radio show." And I'm going, "Okay." And that and then through the radio I met you. And then years went by, and Sue actually moved on into the ethereal world, and
Yes.
we reconnected. And
Yeah.
it literally was divinely guided. So, but that set up the process. Had I not met her for that brief moment, then eventually I would have never connected with you. So they kind of nudge us in the direction,
Yeah,
and
they
I'm very
are.
grateful for Sue.
And I'm grateful for you and for Sue. And I have my own story with Sue. We met online 2015 because
Wow.
we both took angel card readers course with Radley Valentine and Doreen Virtue at that time, right? And she just sent out, I think we were both members of a group for, of people who had taken that course. And I just wanted to have, I did cards and everything. I just wanted to have something to show, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
that was a fun thing for me. It wasn't really hard to do. But she sent out a picture, sending out a friendship ball to everyone in there. And I answered her, and we started to chat, and we found each other. And I said, "This is incredible." And during our relationship that lasted until she passed away, um, March 21st, 23.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a few years, 8 years. And we actually never met in person, but that's not always a problem either. Because if you have that connection, you can just be who you are.
Yep.
But I remember one time because I had one of those vivid dreams. And I knew when I woke up, I could feel the sensations in my body as well. And I placed my dream after, to my understanding, I know it was in Greece or maybe Italy, but probably Greece. And my senses are that it was actually in Rhodes, uh, sometime during the Second World War. And I was shot in my back. And I told her the dream. And a few months later, she said, "I had a dream. I was fighting with someone and I shot someone on a piece of land." And I said, I was joking with her and I said, "That was you? Coming for you. I'm coming for you." But
Yep.
we had other different stories and connections before that. But she was the person I knew from the very instant that we are so family and connected, just
Yep.
like with you, right? I just wanted to bring the story because sometimes we do experience things. I have a connection with Greece, and she had a connection. Her parents, or I think both parents, or maybe just her mom, I don't remember, came from Italy. And actually, Italy was in Rhodes at that time. Isn't that fascinating? See
Wow.
how everything comes together.
It all fits. And uh, if if you just understand that it all fits together and don't get hung up on having to find out how it fits, because you can waste a whole lifetime just trying to find out how it fits and
Yeah,
feeding that curiosity. Where I'm lucky, I came in and go, okay, it fits. I understand there's a connection, and what am I doing in the now with it? And because I really, as fascinating as it is, I don't want to get hung up on one detail that, oh, I did this and I did this. I know we have,
exactly.
and I
Yeah,
feel it. And the beauty about having a true recognition of someone in your family, uh, I found that it's as if we have we have that sense that we belong, a feeling of comfort and safety and home. And even if it's going to be a teacher or bring us a mirror, it's still we have that recognition that
yeah,
it's like there's people that you meet and you go, oh, I really going to stay far away from them. You have that same recognition. And what I have found is, like with you, we may not talk for several days and we haven't seen each other physically, but I feel what you're going through when you're going through your stuff, not in the knowing, but I'm there with you. I can start a conversation with you that we had 3 weeks ago and it just flows. Another friend of mine I don't see for maybe 6, 8 months, and we pick up the phone and it's as if we had never stopped talking. And that it really helps because we really don't have time to go back over, well, what did you do and how did you do it and everything else. You just kind of, jump right in there. And that's such a comfort.
exactly. And I love the way you said that we don't need to dig into all the details. If something is going to bring you some sort of awareness, it's going to come.
Yeah.
But we don't need to dig into all of those, past lifetimes. It's going to be shown to you and come up for you if it's important. The main thing is because we probably had thousands of past lifetimes
Oh
or
yeah.
life, because we tend to mention it in a linear way as a timeline. But I don't think that's a timeline either, but that's for another discussion, right? But
Absolutely.
it's not important. It's the same thing when we um, try to figure out things for a soul, as we both do that kind of work, right?
Right.
It's not about the flashy things or finding out all your lifetimes or everything. It's about finding things that are somehow mirroring or reflecting or
Right.
having an effect on you in this lifetime. Things that maybe need to be taken care of in one way or another. Awareness again. But
Yes.
that's also, someone helping you opening the door. It's not that person. Yeah, we can do clearings and we can do all of those things. And that's, you know, you could say that it's like we are cleaning the floor for you so you can move forward easily, right? But
Right.
each and every one needs to do the work for themselves because otherwise it's not going to stick, right?
Exactly. And I mean, it's fun to, oh well, I did this in that lifetime. However, when you start realizing that all of this is brought together for a purpose of moving forward and not getting hung up in, oh well, that's a pretty dress she's wearing, and I'm going to figure out what the dress is, but realize that um, what we need to understand from that situation is the gift that we're being given.
Yes.
And we don't need to say, well, I was, Queen of France, or I was this or that, because that's ego. It's just, okay, when I was in that experience, these are the lessons that I'm teaching myself now. That
Yeah.
it is a challenge to be in that kind of a position. And as you evolve, it becomes easier and easier um, to understand that this isn't about how many notches you have on your belt, about being this or doing that or whatever. It's, what can I do now? Shine up that belt and get off your buttocks and get things
Exactly.
done.
And sometimes being shown something that are of significance with a relationship with a certain person may be a part of that mirroring as well. And I can tell you, this is very funny, to be honest with you. I have been blessed with meeting a lot of soul connections in my life. And my ex Greek husband, um, at one time, we actually were musketeers in Spain,
Ooh, how awesome!
fighting over women. How about that? Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, I think it's fun and it's entertaining, as long as you don't go into the, oh, well, this is who I am, because that's only a part of who you am. And
exactly. But on another
that's the
note,
thing.
th- that came in a specific time when the understanding of certain things became clearer because of that, right?
It
So
does.
don't continue that pattern. That was the purpose, right?
That's the
Don't
whole thing.
continue that kind of fighting. I'm right and you're wrong, right?
Exactly. And it's the resolution, and it is the resolution of being able to do it with the tools of not taking it personally, and realizing that was just something that needed to be done. When you're
Yeah,
hammering in a nail, the nail doesn't say, why are you doing that to me? I'm going to take it personally because you're banging on me. It
yeah,
says, I've got a job to do and I'm going to do it. And
yeah, exactly.
so that's where self-love and self-mastery comes into all of this. And on a bigger scale, soul families come together to help really bring forth a resolution of something that may be major. Maybe as they gather, they realize that all of the things that they have learned, and their soul understands that if something is built, it's going to be detrimental to humanity. And so they come together to resolve how to make sure that that does not end up in a disaster. So every soul family is working on different things. We have soul families that are working specifically on healing the sacred places and the stargates in our
Yeah,
world. We have soul families that are gathering, that are working on ley lines. We have soul families that are helping in medicine. So we each come with all of these gifts, and as I said, I understand that what I came here to do and the guidance that I get is person by person. I'm not
yeah,
standing on a big stage and talking to a million people and saying, "Go out and and uh, and be right or be this." It's individually. That's what I came here to do, and my soul family helps me by teaching me to to be willing to make the changes that I need to find my authentic self.
yeah.
And
It is always easier when you have at least one other part of your soul family, because
Yes,
we can feel lonely, even though we know we are not alone in this world. We can feel very lonely. And
exactly.
sometimes I had so many out of the ordinary experience in my life. I met people who talked to me in a certain way. They said things. I can't really remember to state it right now. But I can eat my hat, which I don't have.
Yeah.
But one person I met, an older man, he said things to me that was out of this world. And I know he was somehow of an earth angel, if you couldn't express it in that way. He was
Yes.
a very, very enlightened soul, and a very unusual conversation on the subway, of all places, right?
Yep.
And I think the only thing we need to be is to be open, open and receptive. And when
Yes.
he went off one station before me, he turned around and he said to me, it is the light people you can read. Isn't that something odd to say, right?
Yes. Yes. And I've had those experience where, as you say, we talk about the our soul family that comes in as a protector. And I had a situation where uh, two kids on a motorcycle had pulled out in front of me, and the motorcycle, I didn't hit the motorcycle, but they skid and they hit themselves. And so I went over because I'd had EMT training. So I'm looking at the situation, and I had called 911, did everything properly. Well, as I am kneeling over this young man, the sun is at my back, and I can see a shadow and a hand on my shoulder that says, "You did everything right, and I'm with you." Now, when the police came and they start talking to the young boys, it was my fault. So they put me on one side, and now I'm being the bad guy, right? And then I noticed that this figure again had its back to me, was talking to the policeman. And now all of a sudden, I'm not the bad guy anymore. And yet, when we went to trial, he had told them that he was just passing through town and gave him all the information. But when it came time for me to go to court, this person couldn't physically be found. And
Oh,
so this is where we have that divine protection. We have it, and I was at least smart enough to go, wow, this is something that doesn't happen every day. I'm going to remember this.
yeah. And like you, I write things like this down, so I have it.
Yeah,
But with time, you tend to forget the details around things, right?
right.
But you never forget that sense and feeling meeting someone like this. You never
The
do that.
energy,
Yeah, the energy.
energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this man on the subway, he reminded me of Archangel Gabriel of all. He had an instrument. He was playing, I don't know in English, clarinet, when you play.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. And I said, he's from that kind of realm somehow. And
right.
he wanted to come across with a message. That was so beautiful.
Ah, yes. Yeah. It just gave me kind of chills. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There are chills. Yeah, go ahead.
as a soulmate, and the energetic connection that you and I have, I know that I'm safe telling you things because you hold them to your heart. You're not going to go out and discuss it. Number one. Number two, I know that you're going to be authentic and honest with me, but I also know that you are going to hold me in your energy and allow me to process and not let me fall apart. So this is pretty amazing to have someone that you can uh, uh, settle things with, and you're not going to go, oh well, you were right, they were wrong, and all of this BS, and that authenticity and integrity. And when you really find somebody that is making this journey with you, side by side, we're not one in front, one in back, we're side by side, but we are definitely on the same journey, but it's a different journey. As you can
Yes,
always see when we get together and have this talk, we're coming from two different directions, but we always find that path.
we always do. And I feel the same way for you. And I can say anything to you, anything.
Yeah,
And I want to mention something else as well, because I said previously that we tend to come in here, incarnate together, right?
yeah.
But sometimes we are also born into families where we basically feel like an alien in that
Oh yes.
family.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. Um,
See my
and
pointed ears.
yeah, in this lifetime, that is a big part of my experience. I felt more connected with my great grandmother and my grandmother, but mostly my great grandmother. And I was raised by her my first years, from not from the very from an infant, but from 3 years of age to 8.
Yeah.
And she was very significant to me. And I know that she has, um, this is a very evolved soul who helped me. But mom and dad, um, I don't think we may have had a few encounters, but not that many,
You're right.
to be honest with you. So that connection I feel with you, it's totally different. We don't have a blood relationship. We are not blood related, but we are soul related.
Yep.
There's a difference.
Very
So
much so.
someone who doesn't feel in alignment with their blood family, don't despair. It is not that uncommon,
Yes, and
actually.
it's more common that you do not really fit with your blood family because there were different things that you chose to learn that we do with. I've often said I know that my family, my children, are not my soul family, and that's okay because I came to uh, bring information to them, and whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, whether it was helpful or harmful, uh, that is, you know, life. But I always did the best I could with what I had available. But there's a whole different feeling when you are moving forward with the support of uh, the energetic family that, and it was designed that way because I think it would be overwhelming to just come in and say, okay, crew, we're going to do this and we're just going to butt through here because that's not the way that it's done on this planet. So I
Exactly.
and that's the difference,
Well, I found you. I have something else.
Oh, the
That,
question.
yeah, questions.
Okay, lady. You went
Are
to
you
the
up for a few questions?
you went to the question store. Okay. Where you I tell you the divine connection that you have to finding these questions. Um, and if you watch, I kind of squirm and and I go, whoa, where did she give them to me, lady? I love it. I love it.
So I want to mention for everybody, if someone watching this haven't watched us before, we always love to have 5 simple questions. I call them simple. Maybe they
Yeah,
are not always simple.
right.
And I ask Karina sometimes, she are throwing them back at me.
Oh
But they
yes.
are also for all of you who are watching this to ponder about.
Yep.
What does all of these things mean to you, or anything, right? So here's the first question. What does a soul connection mean to you? We probably covered that, but you can answer anyway.
Well, I'm just going to have to say Anna. You pretty much amplify what I feel is that soul connection. And as I said, I encounter these connections all the time. Um, but really, I would say that what I was telling you and telling everyone about how we connect, that pretty much sums it up for how I feel that a soul connection looks like and feels like. My opinion. Okay.
Thank you so much. And as I said, I've been blessed with a few soul connections, and each of every one of them have different energy, a different blueprint. You can
Yes.
call it in many different ways, right? But the soul connection I feel with you shows me that we go way back eons of time.
Yep.
And we are basically soul sisters.
Yep.
Because you can feel it. We have an understanding that is beyond this world. I don't need to put in words everything. You just pick them up, and we understand each other in a way that is also very, very rare and unusual, meaning that we can understand the other person's experience, not out of our own past experiences in this lifetime, but
Right.
coming from the soul itself, right?
And that doesn't mean that we go around going, "Oh, you're so I'm agreeing with you" and everything else, because we come from anybody that's watched this podcast, we come from complete different directions. However, we're saying the same thing, and that gives a person that's listening, I hope, that there's not just one way. There's many ways, and you have to put it on. It's like when you go looking for new clothes, you try this on. That doesn't fit just right, or this makes this look better, and you finally get to something that really feels comfortable, and you know that you are the best you can be when you are in that situation, and that's kind of how I feel.
That's how I feel also. It's very, very special and it's fantastic. And how we met and how we reconnected again. Yeah, I call it a miracle, but a very um, agreed agreed miracle, probably when we came
Yep.
in here. I'm going to find you.
And you I do have to put this in because there's a little bit of humor in it. I agreed to come on one show, and before we even started the show, I said, if you need me more often, I might be able to do this. She said, can you be my co-host? And it was like, and what was that? 2 years ago? Has it
two
been two
years
years?
ago. Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness!
Yeah.
And
2 years.
it doesn't feel but a moment because it's
No.
real. It's not forced. It's not constructed. It just is.
Yeah. 27th of March, we're going to celebrate 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yes. And next question. How do you recognize someone you've met in another lifetime?
Oh, there is there is a feeling of being safe. There's a feeling of a comfort that you really don't have with other people. Um, a feeling of just understanding where they're coming from. I don't care what container they're in. You're just you could be standing somewhere and all of a sudden you just feel this energy and you look over and see that person, and then you find that person is looking at you. Now, In romantic terms, they call that, I see you across the room and I fell in love. But it's deeper than love, and it may not be love that draws you, but that's the same kind of attraction that you have. And then when you do speak to each other, uh, it's like picking up the conversation. You know, it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. It's special. And which soul connections have shaped your path the most?
Oh, oh, that is amazing. I
You
think the
have a bunch of them, I bet.
oh, but I think the one that actually taught me about soul connections and taught me about how all of this plays out is the relationship I had with this person for goodness, it was almost 20 years. And I'm very stubborn and persistent. And for 15 of those, I really was there. And then I realized that I needed to change how we related. But I think it was necessary for me to have that long of a connection until it was ready to be resolved. And I know I've had many, and folks, let me just hang on to the table here. I just had one yesterday, and a mirror soul connection, and it's like, does someone want to do this for me? Because but I know in my essence of my soul that when this is addressed and resolved, it's going to be an amazing revolution, and it's also going to move me into where I need to be more of service to others. So I'll do it. I'll take it for the team.
But that is a very mature way of approaching it, because those things that are triggering us the most are the biggest clues and keys
Yeah.
for how we can move forward.
I did think about running away, but after knee surgery, I can't go very far. So, you
Or
know.
hiring someone, right?
Exactly.
Ah, that would be a good idea. Yes.
That's right. Yes.
So, how do threads from past experiences show up in the present?
Oh, that is amazing. I'm going to throw that one back at you.
They show up if you approach a trigger that's coming to you, right? Or a mirroring or something that feels, it can feel wonderful and beautiful, but they can feel on the other end as well, right? If we
Exactly.
allow ourselves to dig into that experience, not because it feels uncomfortable. Oh, no, I'm going to do that tomorrow. Don't take that now. That is a very human way of managing these things, right? But they come because there is an effect for us in this life that has to do with that past experience. That's why that experience shows up.
Yep.
And as they always say, we are not presented with more than we can handle. And I'm a strong believer of that. And we can
Oh,
manage. If we think about this or all our incarnations as a journey, this is not our real home. We come here. It's like we take a trip somewhere
yep.
for a couple of weeks or something, and then we go back home. If we are curious, when we go for a trip, we want to explore things.
Oh, yes.
But because this trip for the soul is just a very tiny moment, right? But for the human incarnated soul, I mean, the soul having a human experience, we experience this as a lifetime. So we feel like, gosh, I can't do this anymore, right?
Uh-huh.
But it is also of significance because it's a brilliant and wonderful and perfect key if we are going to look at that thing that are coming for us, um, to us at that certain moment in time, so we can work through that. And it can be over the top, wonderful, beautiful, perfect, and on the other end, right? But it is also, if it's on the beautiful side, like when I found you, that's, I found a companion. I found my sister. I found someone, and I'm not alone here in this strange world, right?
Yes,
So,
right.
but it is actually, it's when we look at these threads coming up for us in this way, we can clear anything that are becoming a restriction or a blockage or whatever it is in our life, if we just dare to do it. And sometimes these things tend to come back. Why do they come back? They don't come back to haunt us. They don't come back to chase us or punish us. They come back until we don't react to that any longer. It's not hard. Then we know, okay, I worked through that part. I released it. On onward we go to the next thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, last question.
Whew.
Sweating?
Yep, yep.
So, what helps you trust the larger tapestry your soul is weaving?
Pardon again, say?
What helps you trust the larger tapestry your soul is weaving?
Oh, what a beautiful question. What a beautiful question. Um, I guess I must say that as I've watched myself evolve and the ups and the downs, the mistakes, the things I conquered and everything else, to absolutely be comfortable in my own body, to be comfortable in and this is a big one, being able to trust that I am divinely guided. And I always had this thing. I mean, up until even 2 years ago, I knew that people were responding when I was working with them with Reiki. I knew that when I did a massage on someone, how they just, oh my goodness, this is wonderful, and they felt so good. Uh, when I had a word of encouragement and people's lives changed in 8 minutes, I saw this, but I never believed it. I never trusted it because how could this persona be accomplishing this? And when I started trusting that this is where I've evolved to, and I am really connected with my soul, uh, I could see how this little fiber made a change, and this little color made a change, and that little vibration made a change. And the tapestry, I am still art that is being constantly, created. However, the masterpiece and the tapestry that I am now, I am so comfortable being part of it.
That was so beautiful expressed. Wow.
Uh, I
That
get
was,
emotional. What can I say?
you
But
touched my heart
yeah,
with
it's
that. Yeah,
it's from the heart. It's from the heart.
I know it is. And it's very, very significant. And trust is something we learn but we also need to stick our noses out there doing the work. Not expecting that I go to someone that's going to heal me and that's it, because you need to do the work yourself and you've done your
Absolutely.
work. That's why, because you know you are connected with your soul. And that is what most people want, isn't it?
Exactly. And when you when you start loving yourself without all of the prejudice that you have been given about you should, you can't, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that, and everything else, um, you start realizing that there's more to this incredible journey than the perception of other people and their opinions. And yeah, it, it, it's wonderful. And then when you're fortunate enough to find a soul connection that is supportive, understanding, compassionate. I mean, I have a whole list of adjectives here, but I'm not going to read them off. I'm just going to say, if you have an "and" in your life, uh, you know, you count yourself as beyond blessed.
If you have a Korean in your life, you are equally blessed. I promise.
We don't like each other at all, do we? That's a shame.
No, yeah, not at all. So, what do you say, my beautiful sister?
Well, I'm waiting for your affirmations because they
Okay.
are so wow.
Hi, Nidia. Welcome.
Ah, hi. How is Flagstaff? You know, she's
She
got snow
already,
up there too. Yeah.
yeah, she has, right? So,
Yep.
just we're going to start wrapping this up a little bit. You're welcome to answer if you want to, Nidia, but we still love you anyway if you don't, right?
Yeah.
So, wonderful. Yes. You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 slash streams and youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth slash streams. You can connect with us, read articles, and find out all about us. You can find Corrine, her website, phone number, everything you need at angelplaceonearth.com/ cosmic guardians. And also, you can find upcoming and past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/ upcoming dash past. Last one. We made a couple of series. We made the Four Agreements and also the Celestine Prophecy. So find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. Our next upcoming show on Cosmic Sis-Stars with Miss Corrine and myself is going to be next Wednesday, February 4th. And we will welcome a special guest all the way from Sweden. My neighbor, actually, to be honest. No pressure. His name is Jonathan, and we will talk about meditation and spirituality. And he's slightly younger than you and I, so very a very bright, enlightened soul, and very curious about things, and going to give us a different angle. How
Absolutely.
about that?
Great. Great.
So again, we go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe and Thursday in Australia. And here we come to the juicy part, the affirmation. You want to read that or do you want me to read
I'm going
it?
to let you do that one today.
Okay. So today's affirmation: I trust the timeless wisdom of my soul, and I walk forward knowing every connection in my life is part of a greater tapestry unfolding with purpose and grace.
Beautiful.
That's a good affirmation. And we say thank you for journeying with us in this cosmic weave of remembrance and connection. As this thread comes to a gentle close, The tapestry is far from finished. There are more layers to uncover, more soul stories to illuminate, and more multidimensional pathways waiting to open when we meet again. Every episode reveals a new shimmer in the fabric, and the next one may hold the insight, activation, or spark your soul has been quietly waiting for. Until then, stay curious, stay open, and keep listening to the whispers of your own eternal thread. We'll
Absolutely.
be right here, ready to explore the next cosmic chapter with you. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you.
And remember
Thank you.
to laugh, laugh, laugh.
Yes, yes. Laughter and joy. That's
Yes.
important. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.